A warm welcome to your Barbados Today Morning News Update from Monday, August 23rd. Barbados' opposition leader is on board with government's plan to nominate Governor-General Dame Sandra Mason as the country's first president. However, Bishop Joseph Atherley says he's not in favor with the manner in which the Mia Mottley administration is transitioning the country to Republican status. In an address to the nation on Saturday, Prime Minister Mia Mottley revealed that her administration had consulted Dame Sandra on the matter of becoming the island's first head of state, and she agreed. The nomination, however, must get the nod of the members of Parliament and the Senate.
Met with Her Excellency 2 months ago and indicated to her that my government would be proud to have her nominated as the first president of Barbados. I'm happy to report to the people of this nation today, that Her Excellency Dame Sandra Mason has consented to my government nominating her at the appropriate time to be the first president of this nation. We feel that this is the way we want to go, and we want to thank Her Excellency for so graciously consenting in this manner.
Bishop Atherley tells Barbados Today he's in favor of Dame Sandra's nomination.
The Prime Minister's announced intention to nominate Her Excellency Dame Sandra Mason to be the first president in the new republic. I am not at all against that. In fact, when the Prime Minister first announced the date Barbados becoming a republic, she said that we were going to be following some of the recommendations of the Ford report on constitutional reform. I knew from my research of the report that it had also recommended that the incumbent Governor General, the person filling the office of the Governor General at the time when we became a republic, should be the first head of state to become a president of Barbados. And I didn't hear any mention of any intention to do so. So I'm glad to see that it is coming forth now, because I had called for that.
But the opposition leader says he has concerns about aspects of the transition.
It's still being handled a little clumsily, if I would say so. The process of nomination is not known. The mechanism for such an election has not yet been formalized, and yet we can have announcements made to the extent that even the media, from what I read and from what I hear, are saying definitively that government has nominated Dame Sandra Mason to be the first, but I don't think that has been the case. The Prime Minister acknowledged the intention of government to name her as their nominee, which of course I support. So we are going to have a period of discussion nationally on constitutional reform post the changeover on the 30th of November, and I think the time period indicated is 15 months. I don't know that we need 15 months for that national dialogue.
Meanwhile, newly re-elected president of the Democratic Labour Party, Verla de Pisa, again weighed in on the country's transition to republic status. Presidential address on the final day of the party's annual conference on Sunday, de Pisa said government must go about the transition in the right way.
The republic conversation is the opportunity to make fundamental changes to our constitution, and they cannot be made after the fact. That is putting the cart before the horse. If you know by your assessment that this is a 15 to 18 month conversation, then you already know that you can't have a republic in any meaningful way on the 30th of November 2021. We, the people of Barbados, need to stand up and speak out and insist that we be consulted. And I am not talking about the private consultations that are going on and the Zoom meetings and the panel discussions. I am talking about the government of the day coming and having a conversation with the people about the kind of country that they want, not the kind of country that you want, either for yourself or for others.
In other news this Monday, relations between Barbados and Guyana continue to strengthen. The two countries on Sunday held a virtual special combined church service to observe the Day of Remembrance of the transatlantic slave under the theme Transforming the Middle Passage from an Abyss of Darkness to a Ray of Hope. Addressing the ceremony virtually, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Dr. Jerome Walcott, said Barbados was looking to build on the partnerships it has already established with Ghana.
As the Barbados High Commission in Accra gets ready to open the doors to one of Barbados' first diplomatic missions on the African continent, we are excited to embark on a program of action, collaboration, and exchange. Building on what has already been accomplished, we look forward to furthering our engagement in trade and investment, cultural and tourism exchanges, and people-to-people connections of all types. We still need to finalize agreements for air and maritime transportation. A great deal of work has been done by the Barbados' international transport authorities to facilitate commercial flights between our two countries, and we eagerly anticipate the signature and entry into force of the relevant agreements. A main bridge between Barbados and Ghana will be an essential platform underpinning the new transformative dynamic which now drives our bilateral relationship.
Ghana's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shirley Alok Botchwe, also addressed the service virtually and reaffirmed her country's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties with Barbados on several fronts.
Also, efforts are underway for cooperation between the ports of Tema in Ghana and Bridgetown in Barbados. We reaffirm our commitment to improving bilateral ties and working closely with the government and people of Barbados at all levels, especially in the areas of tourism, culture, education, health, climate change, and biodiversity. It is indeed a great honor to stand with the people and government of Barbados to resist the injustices of racism and promote justice for all. We must continue to reinforce our commitment to end all forms of slavery and work hard to bring dignity to all our peoples, ensuring equal opportunity for all. Indeed, the darkness is gone and a ray of hope has appeared.
Now to the latest COVID-19 numbers. 5 males and 7 females are the latest to be diagnosed with COVID-19 in Barbados. They were identified out of the 1,672 tests conducted by the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory on Saturday, August 21st. The number of people in isolation is 153. There have been 4,652 confirmed cases of COVID-19 since March last year. 48 people have succumbed to the virus. Under the National Vaccination Program for COVID-19, 102,649 first doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been administered. Additionally, 92,027 persons, or 33.2% of the population, have received second doses and are fully vaccinated.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, survivors of the recent 7.2 earthquake in Haiti are reporting experiencing shortages in aid and shelter, while government faces heavy criticism for its response to the disaster. More in this report from Al Jazeera News.
Lekai Football Stadium has turned into a rough camp for those left homeless by Saturday's earthquake, and a symbol of the lack of help they're getting. Scores of families are struggling in this muddy field. There's no water, toilets or effective shelter. A piece of plastic to cover your family is a luxury here.
When it rains, we get wet. When you lay down, you get wet. We don't have a tarpaulin. We have nothing but problems.
When we visited them, they'd been there almost a week, but nobody from the government had come to help. Even worse, a camp leader and others we talked to told us that materials that do arrive are being taken by thugs or even law enforcement officers.
On the international front, former U.S. President Donald Trump has been reacting to President Joe Biden's handling of the retreat of U.S. forces from Afghanistan. The details of that story from Reuters TV.
Biden failed totally on the pandemic, and he's now overseeing the greatest foreign policy humiliation in the history of the United States of America. This is the greatest humiliation I've ever seen. Biden's botched exit in Afghanistan is the most astonishing display of gross incompetence by a nation's leader, perhaps at any time that anybody's ever seen. Name another situation like this. Vietnam looks like a masterclass in strategy compared to Joe Biden's catastrophe. And it didn't have to happen. All he had to do is leave the soldiers there until everything's out. Our citizens, our weapons. Then you bomb the hell out of the bases. We have 5 bases. And you say, bye-bye.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.